time. Okay. Think I'm recording. Am I? Yes, I'm recording. Okay, here we go. Take 5. Got my first box. We already set this up. Zooming in on yellow box. Got the back corner touching the picture plane. And we're going to start building it. Here's my ground line right there. I'm going to build a new layer here so we'll make that in a nice yellowy kind of ochre color. So this is my first point I need to start building off of, and I need to find the vanishing point for that box. And that, we already figured out, is over here. And so I'm going to project through that point going off this way because it's coming forward of the picture plane, and that point coming forward. And so there's the beginning of it. Now this line right here, that one is this line right here, and this one is this up to here, right? So we're all okay with that. Now I'm going to build out this side. So if I follow this corner over to here, you can't see what I'm doing. That should line up with this corner. And then I'm going to swing it over here. Swing. And go from that back corner forward. And that is the bottom of the box. Now I need the height. So I'm going to get my compass. Measure one of these sides. Since we're drawing cylinders, the box has to be as high. I hope this works. As high as it is wide, but the length of it doesn't matter because we're going to make a long, tall, skinny cylinder. All right, so I got the height right there. Now I need to build that out forward to the same lines. So, vanishing point. So this is going to go, because now we're up above the horizon line, so these are heading upward. And scoop this over. There's my vanishing point there. So I just drew up the back side there. I'll go over to this vanishing point. Got this edge from there. And back corner to front corner. These are not connected, so I need to okay, so that point needs to go forward up to that. Okay. Okay, so here's my first box, and it's creeping up above the horizon line. So you can see, let's ink in outside a little bit darker. Okay, you guys all with me so far? This is a little bit off there. I can see there's something wrong with that line. Not quite perfectly accurate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just cylinder in this one because we've got one to start with. So let me make another layer. I'm going to turn the opacity down on this just a little bit so we can see what's going to happen. So I'm going to X off the front and back of this. Let's go down a little further. So I can find a center of the box. And I'll do that in brighter color. So basically from the center of this X to the center of the other X, that would be an axis of the box, the very dead center of the box. And now I can start to see I've got a line here which is going to represent my minor axis. So I just happen to have the ability to make any size ellipse with this little handy guide here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any, it would be nice if it showed me the minor and major axis, but see when I move it, the axis is there, so that's got to line up with the minor axis. But it's got to touch both sides and the top and the bottom. So about right there, that's the ellipse that fits in there. So let's draw that one in red. Actually, let's go back to this layer and draw it in. So basically, if you think about this for a second, let's draw over here, just anywhere, an entirely new layer. If I draw any square, it's supposed to let me do this then. This is way off. I can't draw from the center, so bear with me just for a second. There's a square. Oh, what am I looking for? Okay, so if I drew the square correctly with a circle inscribed, I should be able to, this is just straight on, I should be able to draw my diagonals, which should tell me the center of the box. I should also be able to draw off to either side and through the center of the box. And that gives me a couple touch points, like this one right here. So halfway through the box, the circle is going to touch on all four sides, right? So that means if I drew a vertical line up here and one down here, that circle should be touching my perspective box roughly in those same positions. Same with if I drew through my, here's my vanishing point. This was my yellow box. Keep on doing this. So if I drew from my vanishing point through the center, that circle should touch on those 2 points as well. And it looks like it does. And this is good to know if you're trying to sketch in a circle. So for example, in this back box here, I'm going to draw this horizontal line and the perspective equivalent of the other line. Once again, going back here, going through my vanishing point, through the center of that X. And now let's zoom way in here. And so I know that that circle's got to touch this point, this point, this point, and this point, and that the minor axis has to be following. So there's the center. So I'm going to stretch it up to about close to this. I'm going to stretch the width out a little bit, come back down. Okay, I haven't rotated it yet. I'm just trying to get close. So now I'm going to look for that center minor axis to go in the right direction. Now I'm going to scoot this over a little bit so I can see my green lines are a little bit off, but about there. Oops, see, that's a little too wide. There could be numerous things wrong with my perspective because I'm at a kind of shallow angle, but I'd say that's pretty close. And then there's one last step I need to do. I need to connect a tangent point to two of these ellipses. And let me turn that one. Yeah. So basically I just need to connect with a straight line, ideally. Tangent from this circle to that one. Tangent from this circle to this one. And notice it's not necessarily on the center point. It's just two tangent lines. So there's one of my cylinders lying on its side. And once again, I might not need this inside line because that's basically hidden. I'm going to stop there.